Have you ever wondered why some people seem to walk through life with a kind of invisible protection? Why they radiate calm, attract kindness, and even when storms come, somehow always find a way through? According to Buddhist teachings, this is not a coincidence. It's not luck. It's the quiet, powerful result of living a good life, of doing good, even when no one is watching. Buddhism teaches that every good action plants a seed. And just like a seed doesn't bloom overnight, our good deeds may take time to bear fruit. But the fruit will come, not just in this life, but in the lives to come. One of the most immediate gifts of doing good is peace of mind. When we live with integrity, there's nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Our hearts rest easier. We sleep deeper. There's a kind of joy that comes not from what we own, but from who we are becoming. People sense it too. When you're kind, honest, and generous, others naturally feel safe around you. Trust grows. Respect follows. And often, you'll notice that the right people, teachers, friends, even strangers, appear just when you need them. And here's something beautiful. Good actions don't just help you. They ripple outward, into your home, your relationships, your community. A single act of kindness can soften years of bitterness. A smile, a listening ear, a moment of compassion. These are not small things. Buddhism also teaches that the good we do now creates momentum for future lives. A person who lives ethically and with compassion is more likely to be reborn in favorable conditions, where spiritual growth is easier and suffering is lighter. Even in this life, the results show. A kind heart often shines through the face. There's a gentleness in the eyes, a grace in the voice. It's not about beauty, it's about presence. And presence can't be bought. It can only be cultivated. In times of trouble, good karma protects. It doesn't mean bad things won't happen, but it means we often meet them with strength, support, or even unexpected rescue. Like an invisible safety net woven from all the good you've put into the world. And perhaps most importantly, doing good shapes your soul. It strengthens your inner foundation. It deepens your understanding. And when the time comes for spiritual awakening, you'll be ready. So next time you wonder if your kindness matters, if your patience was worth it, or if your generosity made a difference, remember this. No act of goodness is ever wasted. Every drop creates a ripple. Every ripple becomes a wave. And sometimes, that wave is the one that carries you, or someone else, safely to shore. 1. A peaceful and light heart. Have you ever laid your head on the pillow at night and felt a quiet peace settle over your heart? Not because the world was perfect. Not because everything went your way, but simply because you knew you did the right thing today. That's what Buddhism calls the peace of a pure mind. When we live kindly, speak truthfully, and act with compassion, our mind becomes light, free from the weight of guilt, regret, or fear. This is the first and perhaps most precious fruit of doing good, inner peace. You don't need applause. You don't need to be praised. You don't need anyone to notice. Because the moment you choose to be kind, even when no one's looking, something shifts inside. You align with what is true. And that brings a kind of quiet joy no one can take from you. Think about it. How many people today go to sleep with a restless mind, tossing and turning over things they said or didn't say, did or didn't do? They try to distract themselves, TV, alcohol, noise, but deep down, the mind is unsettled. Because it remembers. But when you live with integrity, your mind becomes your friend. And this is not just a feel-good idea, it's a profound spiritual truth. The Buddha taught that when we act out of generosity, honesty, patience, and compassion, we create harmony not only around us, but within us. It's like planting seeds of stillness in the heart. And over time, those seeds bloom into a steady calm, even when life outside is chaotic. So ask yourself this. What is the cost of a restless mind? And what would it be worth to have a heart that rests easily each night? In a world where stress is constant and noise is everywhere, this kind of peace is rare. But it's not out of reach. It starts with something as small and as powerful as a single good act. A kind word. A patient breath. A choice to stay honest when it's easier to lie. And slowly, one moment at a time, you return home to yourself. That is the quiet reward of goodness. That is the first gift of living well. 2. Gaining trust and respect from others. Why doing good makes people trust and respect you. Have you ever noticed how certain people walk into a room and instantly earn the trust of others? Not because they're loud, rich, or flashy, but but because there's something deeply steady and genuine about them? They carry a kind of quiet power. That power, more often than not, is built over years of doing good, consistently and sincerely. When someone lives with integrity and kindness, people feel it. It's not something you can fake. It radiates from the way they listen, the way they speak, and how they treat others even when no one is watching. In Buddhist wisdom, this kind of person is said to accumulate phc bao, a type of inner blessing that naturally draws respect and trust from the community. Let's be honest, trust isn't given freely these days. We live in a world where skepticism is high and motives are often questioned. But that's exactly why someone who lives with genuine compassion and acts selflessly stands out so clearly. Their reputation becomes their greatest asset, not because they tried to market themselves, but because people have watched them, time and again, choose kindness when it wasn't convenient. Have you ever had a moment when someone you admire simply said, "I trust you"? That feeling doesn't just happen. It's built on the choices you've made, the way you've shown up. That trust is sacred. It's a reflection of your character, your consistency, and your care. Doing good also builds what I call emotional equity. Just like saving money in a bank, every small act of compassion you show, every honest word you speak, adds to a kind of spiritual account. Over time, this account grows. And when you face hard times, because we all do, those around you remember your goodness. They're more likely to support you, to stand by you, to open doors. Not because they owe you, but because they believe in you. And that belief, that's the respect we are talking about. It's not fear-based, like authority. It's not transactional, like fame. It's rooted in love, admiration, and human connection. Now, you might be thinking, but what if nobody sees what I do? I've wondered that too. But here's the thing, life sees. Your energy shifts. Your heart knows. And eventually, so do others. Goodness doesn't need an audience. It simply becomes part of who you are. And who you are is what people trust. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and facades, being a truly good human being is revolutionary. And it's powerful. When you choose honesty, empathy, and generosity again and again, you build a reputation that's not only trusted, but deeply respected. So the next time you wonder if doing the right thing matters, remember this. Every act of goodness builds something. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not visibly. But over time, it creates a field around you, an invisible yet undeniable presence, that invites others to believe in you, to respect you, and to walk alongside you. That, to me, is one of the most meaningful rewards of a life well lived. 3. Attracting good friends and wise mentors. Have you ever noticed how, in certain seasons of life, the right person just seems to appear? Not always with grand gestures or dramatic timing. Sometimes, they come quietly, a kind word from a stranger, a mentor you didn't expect, a friend who shows up when you didn't even know you needed one. In Buddhism, there's a beautiful term for this kind of person, Kalyamita, or spiritual friend. Someone who helps you grow, not just materially, but deeply. They don't save you. They remind you who you are. What's profound is that these people often come into our lives not by chance, but by the energy we carry. When you live with sincerity, kindness, and integrity, it's as if you create a quiet signal. And those who also walk the path of goodness hear it. Good attracts good. This isn't magic. It's resonance. Think about it. Would you want to walk alongside someone who lies, deceives, or takes advantage of others? Or would you rather journey with someone who speaks honestly, treats people well, and lifts others up without expecting a reward? When you cultivate goodness in your own heart, you naturally draw others who value the same. These are the ones who help you grow, not just succeed. They offer wisdom instead of judgment. They cheer you on without envy. They tell you the truth, even when it's hard, because they care about who you're becoming, not just what you're achieving. In the Buddhist tradition, even the Buddha himself emphasized the importance of good spiritual friends on the path. He once told his disciple Ananda, "Noble friendship is the whole of the spiritual life." That's how essential it is. So if you've ever wondered why you seem to attract certain kinds of people, pause and look inward. Are you the kind of person you'd want to meet? Because when you live with heart and humility, the universe responds, not always quickly, not always loudly, but with alignment. The right people show up. The right lessons come. And often, they appear at the exact moment you're ready for them. That is one of the quiet blessings of doing good. Not fame, not fortune, but connection, the kind that changes you. So keep walking kindly. You never know who's walking toward you. 4. Planting seeds of happiness for future lives. Do you believe your actions today could ripple far beyond this life? In the teachings of the Buddha, there's a quiet but powerful truth. Every act of kindness, every generous thought, every time you choose compassion over judgment, you are planting seeds. Not just for this season, or even this lifetime, but for many lives to come. We often want immediate results. We do good and hope it pays off next week. But what if time isn't that linear? What if the good you do today becomes a quiet blessing that finds its way back to you, decades later, or even in another life? Buddhism teaches us about karma, not as punishment or reward, but as cause and effect. Like planting a tree, you don't drop a seed today and expect shade tomorrow. You water, you wait, you trust, and someday, even if you're no longer there to see it, that seed becomes shelter for someone else, or maybe, for you in another form. Imagine this. A child shows unusual kindness, wisdom beyond their years. A stranger helps you in a way that feels oddly familiar. Have you ever wondered if these moments are echoes? Fruits of good seeds planted long ago, by you, or someone whose path touched yours before memory. When we live with goodness, we are not just shaping our day. We are shaping our destiny. And perhaps more beautifully, we are shaping the invisible threads that connect us to future versions of ourselves and to others we've yet to meet. The Buddha once said, "If you want to know your past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at your actions now." So if life feels uncertain, if the world feels rushed and random, return to what you can control: your intent, your kindness, your daily choices. These are the seeds. And whether or not we live to see the bloom, they never go to waste. One act of compassion today might be the reason someone helps you when you least expect it. Might be the force that carries peace into your next life. Might be the legacy that outlives your name, but not your energy. So the next time you hold back from doing good because no one's watching, or the benefit seems too far off, pause. Remember, not all things blossom in spring. Some take lifetimes. But a seed of virtue never dies. 5. Avoiding misfortune and harm. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be in the right place at the right time while others always seem to stumble into chaos? It's easy to chalk it up to luck. But in Buddhist thought, there's something deeper at play, something invisible yet real. The energy of goodness. Those who live with integrity, who choose kindness even when it's inconvenient, often seem to carry a quiet kind of protection. It's not that life spares them from all difficulty, but somehow the storm passes them just a little more gently. They get the green light. They avoid the accident by seconds. Or a stranger shows up at just the right moment with a helping hand. This isn't superstition. It's the subtle ripple of energy that goodness creates. In Buddhism, there's the idea that virtuous actions create protective karma. Not as some magical shield, but as a resonance, a kind of spiritual alignment that draws in support, clarity, and the right conditions at the right time. People who do good often radiate a different kind of presence. They are calm, centered, less reactive, and that alone helps them avoid many unnecessary troubles. Think about it. When your mind is peaceful, you're less likely to lash out, argue, or get caught in other people's drama. When you live honestly, you're not tangled in lies or regret. When you practice compassion, people are more likely to help you when you're in need. You naturally attract what you embody. There's a story of a monk who once traveled through a dangerous forest, known for bandits and wild beasts. Yet he walked with serenity and nothing harmed him. Later, when asked why he wasn't afraid, he simply replied, "I carry no hatred, no fear, only loving kindness. What could I attract but peace?" Of course, we are not all monks. But the principle still applies. The good you cultivate becomes a kind of silent shield. Not flashy. Not always visible. But real. How many times have you heard someone say, "I don't know why, but I just felt safe around them"? That's energy. That's presence. And often, it's the result of a life lived with care, with integrity, with a sincere heart. So no, goodness doesn't guarantee a life free from hardship. But it does soften the edges. It draws helpful people, timely moments, and even inner resilience when life gets rough. In a world that often tells us to be clever, to be fast, to win, choose to be kind. Choose to be honest. Choose to walk lightly but meaningfully. Because while you may never see the invisible hands that guide and guard you, you'll feel their presence. And one day, when someone asks how you managed to stay so calm, so safe, so fortunate, you'll smile. Because deep down, you'll know. It wasn't luck. It was the quiet protection of a good heart. 6. A kind heart makes a beautiful face. Have you ever met someone who isn't conventionally attractive, yet they draw you in? You feel calm around them. You want to talk to them more. You feel safe. They're not flashy, not trying to impress, yet there's something deeply magnetic about them. That's the quiet power of a kind heart. In Buddhism, there's a saying, the face reflects the heart. In other words, our physical appearance, especially the energy we radiate, is shaped by the quality of our thoughts and emotions. A person who is kind, gentle, and compassionate begins to change subtly. Their eyes soften. Their smile becomes more sincere. They naturally emit a peaceful presence that no makeup or surgery can replicate. And this isn't mystical, it's real and observable. Think back to a time when you were angry, jealous, or anxious. Your face probably looked tense, your eyes sharp. Now remember how you looked when you were helping someone, being generous, or simply feeling love. Your features softened, your presence felt warm. The heart is the root. When the heart is kind and unburdened, the whole being transforms. Over time, someone who lives with goodness and empathy develops a glow, not the kind that fades with age, but one that deepens with experience. So, if you've ever wished to be more attractive, more magnetic, maybe the answer doesn't lie in your mirror, but in your mind. True beauty isn't in the skin. It's in the soul. And that's what others remember. 7. Bringing peace and harmony to the family. Have you ever noticed that the peace of one person can ripple through an entire home? In Buddhism, there's a quiet truth that often goes unnoticed. When one person in a family lives with compassion and integrity, the entire household begins to shift. It's not magic, it's presence. The presence of a calm heart. A kind word. A forgiving gaze. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to preach. But when your actions are rooted in goodness, it's like lighting a candle in a dark room. The flame doesn't shout, it simply shines. And those around you begin to see differently. To breathe easier. I've seen it myself, how one person's mindfulness, their quiet efforts to live kindly, slowly soften tensions in a family. The father who used to raise his voice begins to pause. The children, once restless, feel safer. The home becomes a little warmer, not because of wealth or decor, but because there's less fear and more understanding. This isn't just poetic, it's energy. In Buddhist teachings, the energy of your thoughts and actions doesn't stay locked inside you. It radiates. Like heat from the sun, like scent from a flower, your virtue reaches beyond your body and enters the space you live in. This is why some homes feel heavy even when nothing is said. And why some people walk into a room and everything feels lighter. So here's a question worth pondering. What kind of atmosphere are we creating at home? Is our presence a refuge or a pressure? You might think, but I'm just one person. And yes, maybe you are. But one person can be a seed. A starting point. A ripple. Every family has its own karma, its own dynamics, but the path of peace always starts somewhere. Why not with you? This isn't about being a savior. It's about choosing peace when the easier choice is blame. Choosing to breathe instead of react. Choosing to love even when it hurts a little. Over time, these small acts build a culture in the home, not of perfection, but of safety. And safety is rare. In a world constantly pushing us into performance and conflict, a home that feels safe is a sanctuary. And you can be its architect. So, if you've ever wondered how to heal your family, maybe don't start by fixing others. Start by watering your own garden. Start with the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you pause. Let your goodness do the quiet work. Let your kindness be the gravity that holds your family together. Because when one heart awakens, others begin to follow. 8. A fortunate rebirth. Have you ever wondered what awaits us after this life ends? According to Buddhist teachings, rebirth isn't just a matter of chance. It's the natural result of the seeds we plant in our thoughts, words, and actions. When someone lives with kindness, practices compassion, and performs good deeds, they are silently shaping their next journey. That journey might take them into a more fortunate human life, or perhaps even to the heavenly realms, places free from the constant worries and suffering of this world. And for those who dedicate themselves deeply to spiritual practice, who recite the Buddha's name with sincerity and aspire for awakening, there's even the possibility of being reborn in the Pure Land, a realm of complete peace and mindfulness. Now, this might sound mystical, but think of it like this. Every kind act is like planting a good seed in the soil of your mind. When this physical life ends, those seeds begin to bloom, and they guide your next destination. You don't need to be a monk or nun to create this spiritual momentum. Living honestly, treating others with care, forgiving, helping, these are powerful acts. Every single day you live with integrity, you're laying down another stone on the path toward light. So the real question is, what kind of seeds are you planting today for the life that comes next? 9. Progress on the path to enlightenment. Have you ever wondered why some people progress so quickly on their spiritual path? Why they seem to meditate with ease, develop deep insight, and radiate a calm presence that feels almost otherworldly? One of the hidden reasons lies in something quite simple, yet profound: living a good and ethical life. In Buddhism, the path to awakening is supported by 3 pillars: morality, sila, concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, prajna. Think of enlightenment like a great tree. Morality is the rich soil, concentration is the deep root system, and wisdom is the lush canopy reaching toward the sky. When a person lives with kindness and integrity, their mind naturally settles. And a settled mind, free from guilt, shame, or inner conflict, can more easily enter stillness. From that stillness, clarity and insight are born. I've seen people who lived simply and honestly for years, maybe without formal spiritual practice, enter meditation and find profound peace almost effortlessly. Why? Because their hearts were already quiet. Their minds weren't clouded by anger, greed, or delusion. Like a still lake, their inner world was ready to reflect the truth the moment the moonlight of awareness appeared. So when we talk about doing good, it's not just about being nice or earning karma points. It's about preparing the ground for something deeper, awakening. Every kind act, every moment of restraint, every time you choose compassion over judgment, you're not just helping others. You're watering the roots of your own liberation. So if you're choosing to live a kind life today, know this: you're already on the path. And sometimes, the gentlest steps today lead to the greatest leaps in the soul tomorrow. 10. Building unshakable merit. Have you ever felt like life is unfair, like you've done so much good, yet hardship keeps showing up anyway? It's a feeling many of us know well. But from the Buddhist perspective, no single good deed ever truly disappears. Every kind thought, every compassionate gesture, every moment of self-restraint, they all leave a trace. Not in a dramatic, cosmic scoreboard kind of way, but in something far deeper. They become your merit. In Buddhism, this merit, what we might call spiritual capital, isn't something we flaunt. It's quiet, invisible, but incredibly powerful. It's like an underground reservoir of strength that slowly fills up over time. You may not even realize it's there until the storms of life come. When you face illness, heartbreak, loss, or confusion, and yet something within you remains steady, that's merit at work. It's not luck. It's not coincidence. It's the fruits of a life lived with intention. A life that, day by day, chooses kindness over anger, generosity over greed, presence over distraction. Think about it like this: if your life is a house, merit is the foundation beneath it. You don't see it every day, but it holds you up when everything else shakes. And unlike material things, money, reputation, success, merit can't be stolen. It doesn't disappear when people forget your name. It travels with you, through the darkest nights and even into lifetimes beyond. So next time you hold back an angry word, help someone in silence, or choose to forgive instead of resent, know this: you are not losing anything. You are building something. Slowly, surely, brick by brick. And one day, maybe when you need it most, that merit will lift you when nothing else can. Let that truth be your quiet motivation, your silent encouragement. Because in the path of life, the good you do is never wasted. It's just patiently waiting to bless you.